There are some pretty exciting things taking place right now. And I know we talked a lot about developments and rollouts coming for ADA. This is an exciting year. Guys, don't get it twisted. Obviously, yes, the prices sucked for the other part of the year, but there are so many big rollouts coming out for Cardano, and there are big rollouts happening for the crypto ecosystem in terms of legislation and in terms of embrace. But that's not what this video is about. It's about two specific things that are painting a very bullish picture for ADA right now. One, more of a short-term impact, and I do want to discuss this, especially heading into the early part of the week. But the second one, I have cows out. Great. I just saw them out the window. But the second thing, I'm gonna have to mess with that. The second thing actually has to do with 10% of the ADA supply. And we're going to talk about that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So we started to see a little bit of green to begin the day, which is a great sign. Love to see it. Love that all coins are gaining some ground here. In terms of BTC, again, I want to see BTC stay where it's at. I don't want to see much in terms of movement. I don't want to create a CME gap. I want us to basically prepare for a week that is going to have some events take place. Again, like I talked about in my video yesterday, there are a couple deadlines that are taking place in terms of tariffs. I expect some attempted shakeouts in the crypto market, and hopefully altcoins can just hold their resilience as the week progresses. I do have to say that it sounds like Michael Saylor may in fact be buying some Bitcoin to start the week. We know that has led to some drops in the crypto market. So hopefully that's not what we see, but we'll just have to wait and be patient and see how things progress. All right. Now, what I really wanted to talk about, first of all, is this kind of bullish shift that's taking place in terms of open interest. If you guys remember, we have dealt with short interest many times before. This long short ratio has actually been below 1, meaning that shorts have had kind of the leverage in the market. We have now flipped to this point where we're actually seeing about we'll call it a 3% imbalance to the long side in terms of ADA. Now, guys, this could be a good thing. This could be a bad thing. It's a good thing if we see bulls start to take over and do more buying and cause more short liquidations. That's awesome. We have seen that before. What we have also seen before is where this has in fact flipped to the bullish side like we're seeing now, but instead we didn't have that momentum to carry and we saw some long leverage liquidations. So understand that this can go both ways. It's good that we're seeing some confidence in the market, but we need sustained confidence. Right now, for example, if we take a look at this crypto fear greed index, we're still sitting at neutral. The market's still uncertain. It doesn't know which way to go. And obviously the tariffs are going to kind of create some uncertainty heading forward here as well. We obviously know we have a big week following this week, but we'll have to wait and see how we progress into that. Now, the big thing that I wanted to talk about, and I know I've talked about this many times before, is ADA supply and exchanges. And I haven't looked at this in this light before. We obviously know that there's been a very consistent trend for a very long period of time, but I don't think people realize how big the trend has been since that early part of November. Guys, we have seen $1.9 billion worth of ADA removed from exchanges since that first week in November. Guys, that is about 10% of the ADA supply. That's why I find the super bearish takes and the people saying that ADA's dead or Cardano's dead and things are just going to fall away to nothing. I don't buy it at all, because all we have seen since the height of the last bull market cycle has been a removal of supply from exchanges. And at some point here, I'm going to do the math throughout this entire thing. Unfortunately, I have to do this week by week by week by week by week. And it took me a little bit of time this morning. But guys, that's a huge impact for such a large convicted holder base, for people that are ready to watch the developments roll out, for Cardano to have all this perfect timing. I mean, it's something that you cannot ignore. 10% of the supply is pretty significant. And if we date this back here, guys, it's going to be even more than that. There is so little ADA supply available on exchanges. It's not even funny. And really the biggest thing, again, we need in the market is demand. So now that we've seen what ADA can do when there is demand several times, right? Again, I know we've referenced obviously March, we've referenced this part of November, we've referenced this early part of late part of 23 into 24. Just think about how the impact is going to be when there's actually major demand from outside the space. You have to remember that what we've been dealing with right now has been a lot of the money and the people in the market. I just saw this post the other day that just said we're still below 7% of the world in crypto. That's pretty significant, guys. We have not made big adoption strides since last market cycle. Do we think adoption is done, or do we think it's going to continue? It's going to continue. right? There's going to be a big push at some point, especially from the major players in the space. They're going to target to retail, like I've talked about ad nauseum, and retail is going to flock into the space. What do they specifically look at? They look at the top assets in the market, right? They look at the ones that are the loudest, that have some of the biggest narratives going on right now. Cardano is that. It's a top 10 asset. It's eighth, because again, I don't count stables. It has some pretty big developments and rollouts taking place. Retail from outside the space, they love ADA. It always surges its best when new retail adoption is taking place. If it's performed the way that it's had during 2025, which again has been kind of on par with everything else, if it's gained dominance again against even some of these other assets like Ethereum and Solana over the last year, how do you think it's going to perform when we truly have new people coming into the market? That's a question you got to ask yourself. You got to ask yourself, is the fact that $1.9 billion, 10% of the ADA supply has been removed from exchanges, is that going to make an impact? And I would say the answer is yes. So appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.